So hello everyone. My name is Sweta Muhammad Ishaq, and I am the founder of Chadari Project, the organizer of this event. Chadari Project is a storytelling platform to share the amazing stories of Afghan women with the world. We provide for them platform to share their untold stories to the world. In addition to that, we also organize different events. We did various events with the Afghan women, such as Afghan women sharing their COVID-19 stories and how it affected their lives. And this is our fifth event that we are doing. This event will be a little bit different. The topic is a bit different because it's something that is very close to my heart. It's something that the attack that happened on our undergraduate university, and the details of this event and the introduction of the speakers will be done by one of the members of Chadari Project, Zinat Hasir. So she will explain.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Sabdajan, can I start it?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hello everyone, this is Zinat Hasir, member of Chadari Project. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Now you can go ahead.
Okay. Hi everyone, this is Zinat Hasir, a member of Chadari Project and event manager. I work with USAID at the Ashar project as a training assistant also. I want to talk about this event and will introduce our panelists. So I introduced to the event to mark the 4th anniversary of the August 24 to 2016 AUAF campus attack in Kabul. Chadari Project holds an event on Monday, August 24, 2020 to celebrate the bravery of survivors of the attack. AUAF attack was one of the biggest and darkest attack in Afghanistan, targeting an educational institution. This attack was killing 30 people and injuring more than 15. But education provided. The survivors of this attack had two options: stop everything and let fear possessing them, or continue education and let them overcome fear. Not surprising, majority of the students choose this second option, showing their bravery and passion for education. Chadari Project therefore invite the survivors of AF attack to share their stories of braving during the attack with us and their life after the incident. So I will be giving a true introduction of each panelist before they begin. If participants have any question for the individual speaker, please use the chat inbox function on Zoom to post your question, and we will ask the participant at the end of the event, as time will be given to get questions from the audience. So I introduce the panelists. Farzana Bahauduri. Farzana Bahauduri is an AFBB graduate. Currently, she is working and employed for a private leading company in Afghanistan. Also, she is the program coordinator for Afghanistan Women Welfare and Development Association. So, the second, Soman Salehzadeh. Soman Salehzadeh is an AUF business graduate, also account manager at Fort Red, Istanbul. Nazia Khane. Nazia Khane graduated of law from AUAF, and currently working at the State Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Zalala Siddiqui, currently living in the Netherlands, got her bachelor degree from AUAF, major in accounting and minor in law. She also love to work with top people and create new ideas. So the last one is Brishna Musazai and Afghanistan Malalas. Brishna Musazai attended high school and college in Pakistan. Her family moved there for a year before she was born. Brishna also learned English and computer skills. After the return to Afghanistan in 2011, she began studying law at American University of Afghanistan. Now that she is done with bachelor's, she plans to seek a master's degree in law or human rights in the future. Many people call her Afghanistan Malala. She is also now peace ambassador at One Young World. Thank you. So now Sevajan will continue.
Thank you, Zina Jan, for introducing our panelists. As Zina Jan mentioned before, please, if you have any questions from any of the speakers, you can ask and put it in the chat box. There is a chat box option in the Zoom, so you can do that, and we will have a discussion at the end, so you can ask them questions. And so I will start asking questions from the panelists. So, as we all know, that night was one of the darkest for everyone who was present there. So my question is, what is one vivid experience of that night that you can never forget? So we can start with Soman John.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for the lovely opportunity, Smita Jan. I really appreciate it that you gathered all of us and wanted to hear from our experiences. So I'm really happy to actually share what I went through that night. As you just told me that it was one of the darkest nights of our life, that is for sure. But one vivid experience that I can still remember from that night is, actually, I wanted to give you a background. When the attack started, at that point of time, every one of us, like each one of us, were devastated. We were really shocked that what exactly is happening. We didn't know, and we were not expecting that. So with a lot of difficulty, me and my class members, like my classmates, we could actually reach the exit door. When I saw back, I actually saw one of my classmates. He was running behind us and he was shot. He was shot by the terrorists and he was in a really bad condition, just laying down next to the exit door. At that point of time, I was so much lost and devastated, shattered, that I did not know how to help him. Of course, like I was not in that situation to help him. So it was like the height of helplessness that I could actually imagine. The darkest, the most, a situation where I thought that I can not do anything. So I was really, really helpless. But on that moment, I saw this old man who actually opened the door of his house to us. He came with his family members and he started helping us. He was the one who used his personal car and transferred my classmate who was shot and laying down there to the hospital. And he literally took us inside his house. So I understood two things, that in this life, like we faced a lot of, we can see that this world is full of evil people, like that's for sure, like whatever is happening in the world right now. But if not more, but equally, we have equal amount of good people as well. So there's always hope. At that situation, I could understand that, okay, I got a very strong perspective about life, that if there's evil, there's also good. So we should never be hopeless. And that was the vivid experience that I wanted to share with you, that never lose hope, because like eventually there's equal amount of both of the things. And this is totally up to you. Which one are you going to choose? And are you going to allow that bad experience like demoralize you or traumatize you, or you will just stand up and you will not give up? Thank you.
This is a great perspective to look at the things. I think that's a very positive thing to look at, because I completely agree that there's always a light, even like in the darkness. You can see there are always good people uh, can be found. Thank you for sharing that. And now, Nazia John, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So 24th August, like this day is the most darkest day of my life. Today, the whole day, I wasn't able to open my Facebook and check the notification, because it would remind me again of that darkest moment. But we can't change anything. And these are the experiences that make us strong and make us who we are. So coming back to your question about what was my vivid experience of that night. So when we came out of the masjid, me, Breshna Jan, and many other girls, we were like stuck in the corridor. So the girls were shouting, and there was no way to come out of that place. And there was the sound of shooting everywhere. So I wasn't expecting myself to come out of that place alive. I was standing in the middle of the corridor. At that time, I wasn't injured. And I was thinking about the whole situation, what happened, and what did I do the whole day, because I wasn't expecting to come, to get out of this university alive. And I was thinking about the whole day. And I was thinking that, what did I do the whole day? Did I hurt anyone? Did I hurt anyone's heart? I thought that, okay, I performed my 4-time prayers and I didn't hurt anyone, and I did all the good deeds. But one thing that I didn't do that day, I didn't saw my parents when I was coming out of the university. So at that moment, I was like totally lost. I was remembering my parents, and I was thinking about them, because I was expecting totally that I will die today, and I was thinking about them, how they will gonna receive that news. They will not gonna take this news, because it will be very difficult for any parent to hear of their children's death. So this was the most like helpless and the most heartbreaking moment of my life. I wasn't thinking about myself. I was thinking about my parents, other people, parents, the people, and I was also thinking about that, how many people will gonna lose life today, and how many people will gonna get out of this university alive. And if I make it alive today, then I will gonna appreciate each and every moment of my life. I will not gonna take anything for granted. I will give everyone like the time, the attention, and I will make the world a better place by my existence. So that one moment that I still remember, is that I was thinking about my parents all the time. Yes, Vitaja.
Yes, and to be honest, like on that day, I was with my friend Raihana Tarin. If you guys know, she was also studying at AUAF, and she was also having the same experience, like thinking about her parents and thinking about others well, she was like in that situation, but she was still thinking about others. And thank you again for sharing it. Barishna Jan, can you hear us?
Salam and hello everyone. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Sitajan. I always love to share my story, not because that it's easy to share, but I don't know why, but I always talk. I always love to talk about it. Maybe because I have survived, that's why. So now I heard stories of these my friends. I'm kind of a little bit emotional because whenever I talk about my story, you know, it feels like it happened. It was just yesterday. So yeah, for me, it was the moment. Actually, it was the corridor, the hallway, where I was laying down because it was dark. Because I spent 6 hours in that hallway after being shot. So during those 6 hours, I experienced many things. I heard gunshots. I heard students, people screaming. I even heard the gunmen shouting, yelling at other people, at students. And that time I was thinking the same like Nazia was thinking. I was thinking about my family because I couldn't believe that I was shot by Taliban. I thought it's a dream, and I wanted to wake up. For a while I thought it's not real, and I really wanted to wake up. And I wished it's a bad dream. It's not true. So I still remember that hallway, and I remember when I was thinking about death and life, and I really wanted to go back home because I was feeling very lonely. There was no one in that hallway except one girl. I saw her later. I couldn't see her because she was. Because the place where she was laying in that corner, it was a little bit darker than where I was laying. So I was really missing my home, and I was thinking about life and death, and I was thinking what will happen if I die. I knew that I'm not gonna die because I knew I was shot in my leg, but you know, because of the bullets and the grenades, the bullets could hit me again, and they could hit me anytime. So yeah, and the sounds, I still sometimes I get scared when I hear a loud sound, and sometimes I see war in my dream. So yeah, the dark hallway and the sounds of the grenades and everything I went through during those 6 hours, I still remember, and it's hard to forget.
Yes, and I completely understand, and I really pray and hope that no one will have those kind of dreams anymore, because it's very, I mean, it's something that is hard to forget, even though it's been 4 years. But again, it feels like it was yesterday. But again, time heals, and I'm really glad that everyone that you're sharing your stories today, and thank you for doing that. Farzana Jan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Swetajan. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you to all the Chadari member project for holding this event. So about my experience in the AUF attack, well, there were many experiences. It was only one night and few hours of one night actually, but there were a lot of experiences that we had, a lot of moments that we can never forget it. Personally, I cannot forget it. As it was really shocking for me, and I was really frightened by the sounds, by the fire sounds and everything, because I actually didn't know what's going on for some few minutes, and everyone was like running around and shouting and crying, and the sounds of gunfires were audible for me, and I was not sure who is this. Is it the security guards? Is it the Taliban? Is it, who are they? And it was really shocking for me. Then when I got to know it, I was inside the class of a bad building. I was in the bad building in second floor. So the attackers were everywhere in the bad building, and it was really frightening for me. I was feeling so lonely and hopeless at the very first, because it was the first experience of me, and I remembered my family. I wanted to go home, and I was whenever I was hearing the sounds of gunfires, I was thinking like it may be the security guards, it may be the police or someone who can save us. But there were lots of fear, and also lots of hope with all of what we were going through in every moment. So it was really a different experience of my life, and I always remember whenever every year that it's been 24th of August. I remember like it was a few hours ago, and it's really again terrifying me. But still, I'm really thankful and grateful that I and many of my friends and classmates could survive.
Thank you for sharing that. Zalala Jan, are you here? I don't see her.
Yeah, I am here.
Okay.
Yeah, hi everyone. First of all, thank you, Rita John, for inviting me to this event. It's a really good chance to talk about the things that happened um, that night. So I was in dormitory that night. I just had left university, but it was maybe 15 minutes earlier that I left the university, and the experience, a vivid experience or a moment that I never can forget, is that I was just, it was just a usual day in my life. I was just, like other days. I came to the dormitory, I had my meal, and I was just, sitting on my bed and wanted to start to eat, and suddenly I heard something that, I thought that, okay, this can't be real. But unfortunately, it was real, and I heard the sound of that explosion and the fire that was going. Yeah, the fire that came out from the building of the university, and then everything was just shattered. The windows, and I thought that this building is just um, it's just going to fall on me. This my experience is that you never can know what is going to be happen in your life even for a second. I thought that it's really a happy day and it's a good day to it was to end the day, but suddenly these things happen, and I was just, oh, I think that I am dreaming. I think it's a nightmare. But unfortunately it was real, and that experience that we were there locked down, and we could hear the sounds of the shots and all this explosion and everything that was going around. That is, that can I can still hear that. Unfortunately, that night is over, but the trauma and the fear that it has caused me, that can never be forgotten. So yeah, that was experience. The sound of that explosion that happened that night, and the fire that I could see that night, the smoke. I can never forget that. that was a really vivid thing that I still remember like it was yesterday, unfortunately.
Thank you for sharing it, Zola John. Yes, I completely agree with like the fire, the sound of the fire, because right now, even if I hear the firecrackers, I'm like feeling like it's a gunfire, right? It's I mean, that's the negative thing that we have, that is how has impacted us. So despite this, so my next question is that, so despite this negative experiences that every one of you have gone through that night, what was the real motivation behind continuing education despite such a negative experience? So like, was any of your family members or relatives against going back to AUAF, or were they supportive? We would love to hear that. So Brishnajan, maybe we'll go with you first.
Okay, so yeah, it was not an easy decision to go back to AUF and continue my studies. But you know, my family was very, they supported me, my father especially. And about relatives, my relatives, they don't like education. It's my family, my father, who's the one who always believed in me. And also, I believed in myself. Even after the attack, I really wanted to go back to the campus and see and visit the place where I was shot, and also the mosque where I was when the blast happened. And you know, I believe that if you're doing something, if you start doing something, or you're doing something that you know it's right, you should not give up, you know. So for me, it was the right thing to do. I, even though I was very scared. I was always thinking, what if the attack happens again? And I knew if it happens again, I wouldn't be able, even, you know, because I was in wheelchair when I went back to university. And I accepted that if this happens again, I believe that I will die for this time if this happened again, because I knew that I cannot even move. I was sitting in a wheelchair. But you know, there is something, you know, hope. I was hopeful that I can do it. And because my family was supporting me, you know, if your friends or your family, they don't support you, or you know, it or discourage you, it's a kind of difficult for you to decide. You get confused. But I wasn't confused, because I believe that I can do this, and my family was also supporting me, though it was very difficult. But you know, we cannot just give up. We cannot just stop living just because we are suffering from something which is not permanent. So I believe as long as we are alive, there is hope, and we can, you know, we can do anything if we really decide, if we try to. So yeah, the reason I went back was I thought it's the right thing to do, and I wanted to go back, and my family was supporting me. And yeah, I was hopeful, and also, you know, positive about everything. I didn't care about, you know, what my relatives would say, because they are you know, even from the beginning, many people from my relatives, they don't like the decision of my father of sending me to the American University. But because when you know you're doing the right thing, I think then you are on the right path.
Yeah, this is your father is a great person, that he's supporting education and doesn't listen to what people say. Because as you know, in our Afghan culture, like we care so much about what other people think. And I find your father a great, like a very inspirational person, that he supports his daughter, and this is great. Farzana Jan?
Can you hear me, Sweetajan?
Yes.
Okay, so as Brishna John mentioned, it was really difficult actually to go back to the campus, but my family, especially my father, was my motivation. He was telling me that if when my relatives were coming and telling my dad that it's not a safe idea to let her back to go to university, it's early, she has just started one semester and it's a long journey to go. But he was replying to every individual of them that even if I sent her to the mosque the whole day to study Islamic studies, still the Taliban and other terrorists are gonna attack on those institutions as well. Because their aim is to prevent people to study, to seek education. So that was what I could get a strong desire and hope to continue, and that was the best thing I could do at the moment, because in addition to what others were thinking, my own desire to study at AUF was so strong that it could lead me back to AUF. And also the lost lives that were gone due to the 24th of August attack at AUF. That was something that could motivate me to go and continue for my education, because in order to express and show the Taliban and the world that nothing can stop us from studying and seeking knowledge. And it was like I was thinking that it would be a symbol or a sign of standing against the enemy of education and the enemies of Afghanistan and the enemies of youth people who are trying continuously to prevent Afghan people and Afghan youth to develop and to improve their and to understand and learn education.
You did a great decision. You made a great decision. Thank you for sharing. Zalajan?
Yeah. Well, actually, as Krishna John and Farzana John mentioned before, it was really not a um, easy decision to go back to the university. I really had to, do a cost benefit analysis actually. So to see what are the good points to go back and what were the negative points um, for not going back actually. And um, everything aside, the fear that I got and the trauma that it had caused me, I was like, I cannot sleep in the dorm. I cannot go to the university. I had this, in my mind for months, but um, it was really good that the university didn't start, immediately. Um, and that was also logical. But the time that we had before the university started, it was really a good time uh, for me, to just to be myself again. So my family, they supported me, and my motivation was actually that it was I was about to start my last year. So I was like, I'm not gonna end up here. I have studied 3 years at the university, and at the end, I'm not gonna stop here. So and my father, he was so positive. He said, it's not something that it has to do with you are going or not going back to the university. If it happens, so it can it can happen here too, in your house. So it is something, that we cannot predict. Just be positive about it. So the time, as they say, time can heal us. That is really true. So the time that, or the distance of the time that we had from that attack to the time that the university reopened, that really helped me to think about it and to make this wise decision and to get back to the university. And I am really glad that I did.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. We are also glad that you made the right choice and the right decision. And of course, it's never possible without the support of the family, right? And I'm really happy that all of you have had like supportive families that actually let you continue and be positive. Nazia Jan? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Sitajan?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So thank you, Sweta Jan, as Brishna Jan, Farzana Jan, and Sitiga Jan mentioned. The only motivation behind continuing my education back at the same university where I got injured was that I never wanted the Taliban to win, because for the only way for them to lose, the only way for them to get defeated in this war was my education. They had the only purpose they had the only purpose that they wanted us to stop education by attacking our university. So if at that time I stopped my education and I chose some like another university, then I would be like a loser. So I didn't want them to think of me a loser, even though it was very hard for me for like going back to the same university and continuing my education. Fortunately, like the campus was also changed and we were moved back to the new campus, and till the last day I didn't went to the old campus because I was afraid of the place where we were attacked. But still I want, even though if it cost me to death, I still wanted to continue my education, to see them defeated, to see them to see that education will prevail, that nothing will stop us from getting education. And at the same time, my father, he was the main reason, or what can we say, that when I was on the bed when I was in the hospital on the bed, my father was looking at me. I was injured. It was the second day, and he was motivating me that you shouldn't lose your hope. You will gonna get back to the university. You will gonna get back to the education. You will not gonna let them to win. And those words were like stuck in my mind at the same time, because I found myself very lucky and very fortunate for having a family that support my education, for having a family that stand in front of all those people who are against the education. When I look at my province, Zabul and Helmand, where our relative lives, Kandahar and Nimroz, those areas, like the girls are very eager to get education, but they don't find the opportunity to go because of so many reasons. They, like, some of them don't even have the chance to enter the school. Some of them stop education till 6th or 7th grade, and like there are very few girls, by count almost 10 to 12 girls who will be going to university and getting higher education. So it was like not a proper decision for me to not go to university and stop my education, because I see myself the only way to to the only way for me to get escape, or to, what can I say, the only way for me to win was to get education. The only way for me to help those women was to get education, to go to university and to get graduate. So and also the main reason was I was so angry when I heard of the people that we lost, and when I saw the people that were injured. I was crying, I was shouting, I was wondering how on earth someone would attack an institution, students who were studying, who weren't involved in war, who weren't involved in any politics. How can they attack us? So I was very angry, and I was determined that when university gets started, I will be the first person going to that university, showing them that we are not afraid, and you are loser and we are winner. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very inspiring how you chose to go back, because to show the people that, again, education prevailed and it will prevail. So Manja?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Sweetajan, thank you for the question. So, as already mentioned by my team members, I want to also tell you that after a few days of this horrific incident, when I was still struggling to get back to normal, I really thought about it. I thought that what should I do? Should I continue or I should not continue? Because in my case, I was still like at the same time studying at Kabul Polytechnic University. So I had like I was going to get a degree anyway, and this was actually the second degree of mine. So it was really not a big deal if I wanted to not pursue my education, if I talk about getting a degree only. But when I thought about it logically, I could understand that these terrorists that attacked an education entity, they have basically done it to literally stop us from learning. Like if we do the maths, we would understand that, okay, so it means that they are afraid of education. They are afraid of the power of education. And this is the main reason that this incident, this attack was happened on the students, on the young generation of Afghanistan. Because if we think about it, we would understand that attacks on education entities actually have a long-term effect in a society as a whole. Because like people who are going to school, going to colleges or universities, those are literally the people who make the future of the country. And these terrorists wanted to actually make us like scared. They wanted to influence us. They wanted the young generation of Afghanistan to be ignorant, and they wanted to put whatever they liked into our minds, so they could rule us, they could destroy our country. So when I thought about these things, then I was like, okay, this is the main agenda of these people. And as Nazijan said, we never wanted them to win. And the only way for us was to come back to school and pursue our education. And regarding the family part, of course, it was the most difficult decision to convince my family, because like any other family, they were really scared, and they were continuously giving me this excuse that anyway you're going to get a degree, so why AUAF, just leave it. But it was really difficult for me to convince them, and eventually I could do that. And that is why I pursued my education.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So I'm reminding everyone who wants to ask the questions from any of the panelists, please, you can type it in the chat box, and we will also give floor to you if you want to share something, or if you have some comments besides questions. So you can write it in the chat box. So my next question is, again, like we had our goals and dreams before the attack, and I'm sure most of the people's dreams and goals in life in general have changed. So my question is that did anything change before and after the attack in terms of your goals and dreams that you had? Farzana, we'll go with Farzana first.
Thank you, Swetajan, for the question. So the attack took AUF to get back to normal, like 7 months and 3 days. So I was like counting every day because I was really eager to go. Because because of the attack, I was really traumatized, and I wanted to go back and try to get back to normal. So this time was a good pause for me. So I was depressed and I had to be busy and with something. So I started my career at that moment, and I got a job and I got busy with my job. And yeah, of course there were changes, but the negative changes were temporary, and my goals and dreams became even more stronger because I knew that how important my goal of continuing education is for our society and for everyone. And I got to know that with studying and pursuing my own goal, how great I can contribute to my society, to make people understand and aware that education always prevails.
Great. Prashnaja?
Yeah. So can you say the question again?
Sure.
So that I know
Yeah, sure.
To answer.
Did anything change before and after the attack in terms of your goals and dreams that you had?
Okay, so before the attack, I didn't have, I mean, after the attack, things changed in a positive way. Before the attack, I always wanted to help the needy people, and I still want to, but the thing, I mean, the positive changes happen after the attack is that I want to do more, you know, because now I'm a victim and a survivor. I want to do more for those who are deprived of their fundamental rights. So that's why I chose human rights, like to study in the future, to do my master's in human rights. So if anything changed, it has changed in a positive way, not in a negative way. I started believing in myself, and you know, when I went through everything and that attack, after the attack, and when people were, you know, friends and families and even strangers were telling me that I'm not saying I'm brave, but you know, I'm a believer, and I believe that if I could stay strong, it's all because Allah was watching me, watching over me, and He was with me, and He gave me the strength to stay strong. So after listening these, you know, from friends that I was strong, and I started believing in myself. I believe if I can go through such a horrific, you know, incident, I can do more in my life. So yeah, everything changed in a positive way.
Indeed, indeed. Like as you said, like Allah is always with us, and He gives us strength, and I'm happy. I'm really happy for that. Zalajan?
Yeah. So actually, at first, I was really hopeless, and I was about to give up. And I was like, we can't do anything in this country. We can't even um, pursue or continue our education. This was really my mindset at first because I was really hopeless about everything, and I was traumatized. But then, by the time I was about to know I shouldn't give up and I should be stronger than ever, and my goals they remained the same, and I finished my yeah, I got my degree from that university, which was my goal. So nothing changed actually in about my goals and my dreams. It was the same, and luckily I was really fortunate, and I'm really proud to say it that uh, I followed my dreams and my goals. Um, Despite everything that happened, and today I am really proud that I did it.
We are also proud of you. Um, so Manjan, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Switajan, to answer your question, I want to say this that all the students who survived from this horrific attack, that was literally a big, big miracle that I could witness in my life. Like all of us that we are talking today, as everyone mentioned, we are survivors, and this is the second life for us. So obviously, my life changed like completely. It was not the same, like the things that I cared about like before. It was not the same now, like after the attack. To give you some example, is that, for example, if I talk about my education and career, like the professional life, I thought that whatever I am doing right now is not enough. I need to put more focus. I need to put more effort because God has given me this second life in order to achieve more than what I can do. Because before that, I was a responsible person, of course, like I was always thinking about Afghanistan, how I can contribute and things like that. But after the attack, sense of responsibility actually doubled, and I started emphasizing more on my education, on my career, and the things I wanted to do for others. And besides that, I also started working on my personal development. And on a personal note, I stopped taking things for granted. This is like the biggest achievement, if I can say, that I actually started taking everything very like taking things one at a point with like a huge amount of responsibility, and never taking anything lightly, if it is family, if it's a good job that I'm having, or if it is a golden opportunity of studying at AUAF. So I stopped doing that. I think that was the biggest change in my life.
Thank you for sharing that, and it's very amazing to see how everyone's perspective or like goals and dreams change into something positive that everyone can learn from, and this is very inspiring. Nazia Jan.
Yes, Sweeta Jan. So, after the attack, too many things changed in my life. When I look at from perspective of my personality, before the attack, I was a very careless, a person who was always after fun, after friendship, and um, gathering, getting around, and very careless about my studies. So when the attack happened, after the attack, I took everything very too much serious. Like every opportunity, I took everything very serious. In terms of my goal, I put more focus on achieving or doing what can make me happy and how can I contribute more to the society. I was like, as Breshna said, Breshna Jan said that I felt, I was feeling those vulnerable people from my heart before. Like every time I would hear that, like at this place or in Helmand or in Kandahar, in Kabul, at this place, the attack has happened and this many people have got injured and that much people have died. So when the attack happened, when I saw the death from very close, I took everything very serious. I never take anything for granted, whether I would enjoy each and every moment, whether it was with my family, as our another mate said, whether it was in terms of work, education. After the attack, actually my grades also got better because I was putting more efforts. I was getting very serious about my goals and my future, because it was like when the attack happened, I was feeling very like not special, but I was feeling like those Taliban, we are very powerful people. We students are very powerful people, and actually those Taliban are scared of us. If we achieve our dreams, if we achieve our goals, they will not be able to do their evil things in this country. If I get education, if I make myself powerful in terms of learning new skills, in terms of building myself, like building new skills that will help me to develop strategies, or that will help me to get into in politics or in law or in any field. I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to know more skills, and it was that attack that made me more serious about my goals and made me more serious about what I need to do. And yeah, I became very serious about my goals and about my future. It actually helped me a lot.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's always, again, I mean, there's a saying that's we say like whatever happens happens for a reason, and I think this attack has taught us, all of us, a lot of lessons, and it made us even stronger than before. And as you mentioned before, that like we showed them that yes, education prevailed, and we are strong, and they are weak, right? So as my again, I'm reminding everyone, if you have any questions, you can ask, you can write in the chat box, and then if you have any comments. But I have as a last question, I would love to ask is that because this project, again, that's why we are conducted in English, is because we want, like we are doing these events in English to show non-Afghans about the experiences of Afghan women. And so my question, as the last question, is that what message do you want to convey for the non-Afghans or those who don't live in Afghanistan about the Afghan women and Afghan youth? So we'll go first with Somanjan.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Svitajan, thank you for the question. So what I want to convey to foreigners about Afghan women is that they should really understand that Afghan women are very hardworking people. Like I did not, right now I'm living in Turkey, like I am working in an international company. It's a multinational company. Like I have a lot of colleagues from different parts of the world. So when I see them, when I look at them, I really instantly understand that the amount of hard work, dedication that Afghan women put into things, that is literally not measurable. Because I think this only comes from the experiences that we have had while growing up in Afghanistan. or like most of us were immigrants and living in other countries. So we always wanted to do more in order to prove ourselves. That is really a sign of strength that we all carry as Afghan women. Because as I see other people, like I see foreigners, they have everything, like they have the best environment to study, like the best of everything, if I can say that. But still, like the thing which is missing from them is again the passion towards making it big, towards contribution and making the world a positive place. The only thing that they are concerned is that they just want to do their job and they want to be good at it. But when it comes to Afghan women, because we have been always deprived, like we have been always fighting for our rights, so whenever we get an opportunity, that is gold. Like we do not want to waste it at any cost. We put 200% in order to prove, because there's also a sense of responsibility we feel on our shoulders because of this media, which has actually always like they have created an image of Afghanistan, of Afghan women, that they just get married by 18 or earlier than that. They're only good for those kind of things. That is so wrong. So whenever we see an opportunity, we try to grab it as soon as we can, and we give our 200% in order to prove ourselves. So I really, really hope that Afghanistan gives us the equal amount of access, equal amount of opportunities, just like other countries that they have. The youngsters of other countries literally have everything. Some of them take it for granted, but they do not know that there are a lot of people who are praying for it like every single day. So I really hope that we will build a great Afghanistan where we will not like think about these basic needs of like staying alive or educating yourself or going to school. So we can make it better, and we can just stop like proving ourselves and live normally in order to achieve greater things for our country and the world.
Thank you for sharing that, Soman. And I really completely agree with you in terms of like the single story about the Afghan women. And that's exactly the motivation behind creating this project, is because there's so many misconceptions about the lives of Afghan women, and there's a need for the world to hear another perspective. Barishnajan?
Okay, so my message to non-Afghans or to the world about Afghan women is that Afghan women are capable of doing everything. They can defend, they can fight for their rights, they can be independent. But the problem with our society or with Afghanistan is that Afghan women don't have opportunities. People see us like, like we are dependent on our male members, or we cannot do things. But Afghan women can do everything like the rest of the women in the world. And I believe Afghan women are very strong, because the decades of war have made them strong, and the sacrifices they have been giving for decades, these things have made Afghan women very strong. So if Afghan women can survive in this kind of situation, they can do anything. They can change the country in a positive way. All we need is opportunities. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, exactly. If the Afghan women are given opportunity, they can the sky will be the limit for them. Exactly. Thank you for that, for sharing, Zalajan.
Yes, thank you. So actually, I wanted to say that you never um, understand someone's situation until you are put in that situation. So I'm saying that those non-Afghan friends or youth, they don't understand our situation because they haven't been gone through this situation. Yeah, I know that they have. Yeah, everyone has faced a difficulties in your life and so, but what we are going through, I'm just saying that I see sometimes on social media or so people they judge Afghan women a lot. They are just um, saying that yeah, Afghan women are like this, like that, or this and that. Yeah, I hear sometimes, or I just read it in the comments, and I really become disappointed because why? Because we are going through so much. We have gone through a lot, and we are going through so much in Afghanistan. As a woman, if you are just going to the university or to your work, you know how much you get harassed by men. This by itself, this can cause you some kind of depression. I have gone through this. Every time if I wanted to go somewhere, I was about, okay, how should I react to men, if they do something, if they say something, if they if they just harass me. And this was a kind of fear that I that stopped me from going outside. Of if I went, yeah, maybe less than usual. So my message is that if if the opportunities that were given to us like the other women in the world, we would have been not here today. We would have been, very up. We would have been in a very upper level today. But unfortunately, the situation and everything that is now in Afghanistan and that is happening, this is really a barrier for an Afghan woman. And even and my other message is that if you really if you can help an Afghan woman, please do that. If you can listen to their stories, please do that because they really need it. Every Afghan woman, or surely I can say that they they went through something or they are going through something, maybe in their families or maybe outside. And as a non-Afghan, I'm just telling you, if you really want to do something for Afghans, listen to their stories. Just make them sure that you are with us, and so that we are not saying that okay, we are alone here. Yeah, this is my message actually. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the great message of actually listening, because many of us, I think, don't think that listening is actually is helpful, right, for people. Because when you have some problem or when you want to share something, it's very important to share it, and there should be people who would be willing to listen, and that's very helpful. um, thank you for that, Nazia Jan.
Yes, Ritajan, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ritajan?
Yes, we can hear you.
So my message for the foreigners or international people is that Afghan women are very strong. Actually, we are the one who are not only fighting the war of terrorism, but also the war of ignorance. We are the people who are fighting each and every day, each second of our life for the basic rights that each and every human has. Like in foreign countries, people are free. They don't fight for anything. They have the opportunity to go out of home. They have the opportunity to go to school. They have the opportunity to attend the university. They are never stopped by anyone. But we are the one who fight every member in whether it's in home, whether they are in society, whether it's in the form of like going to job or working and facing the people and their unnecessary comments. So we Afghan women are very strong. Despite of too many challenges, we still get education. I personally, I will give the example of one of my like relatives, one of my family members. Like she fought with everyone at every stage, whether it was with family, society, and she got education. Now she's an independent woman. So it's very hard for us to even get education, the basic rights that is like everyone should have. But we are actually very strong women, and we can do things better than anyone can do, because we know the worth of those opportunities that are given to us. When you don't have some things, you know the worth of that thing. We are the people who know the worth of education. We are the people who know the worth of an opportunity that is given to us. So we can do any job better than anyone can do around the world. If we can do it in this situation, what will happen to us if we are given the chances, if we are given the wings to fly? What will happen if we are given the rights that people in foreign countries have? So I think Afghan women are very strong. Sometimes when I even meet with some uneducated people from my province, like they inspire me from so many ways. They will never have been to school, but they know too many things. They are better than those who were like those who have gotten the education. So nobody should doubt our talent. Nobody should doubt our determination. We are stronger, and we are, if we can do anything that anyone around the world can do. Afghan women are powerful.
Indeed, I completely
Yes.
agree. Thank you for that, Farzana Jan.
Thank you, Swetajan, for your question. So my message to the people who are not living in Afghanistan and are not Afghan is this: that in many countries of the world, Afghanistan is known as a terrorist land. I want to convey the message that Afghans are not terrorists, but of course, only a few groups of people, or a few groups of Afghan that are terrorists. There are many internal and external factors for that. And coming to the Afghan woman, I want to say that Afghan women are really the heroes, are really a strong women, and they are the women that are not privileged like any other countries of the world, that they are privileged with education, with going to job and do whatever they need to for their own improvements. But Afghan women are not privileged. They are fighting even with their families, with the society, with no mean and no support to just get access to their basic rights and live their basic lives. So they are the people who really contribute in their own improvements themselves independently, and they're really independent and strong enough to stand by their own. And also I want from the international institutions to pay attention to the opportunities for Afghan women, because we really have less opportunities. The more they give opportunities to Afghan women, the more they can contribute to the betterment and meaningful participation of women in the society, especially in this critical situation of Afghanistan, that we're really close to the peace process. And a meaningful participation of Afghan women is really the key to the improvement and betterment of Afghan women, because we have come so long so far, and we really don't want to lose any single bit of it through the peace process process before that and after, or after that. We really want to be appreciated, to be given the opportunity to participate and live the life that any individual woman in the world is having it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it. This is, yeah, the message. Each of you shared a great message about Afghan women, and I completely agree with all of you. And so here we have one question. So I'll ask, and any of these speakers can actually answer. If the terrorists that conducted the attack were gathered together and all of you were in a safe place with them, what would you say to them? Okay, I will repeat the question. If the terrorists that conducted the attack were gathered together and all of you were in a safe place with them, what would you say to them?
Yes, can I answer?
Sure.
Well, actually, I really love uh, to do that. Actually, I really want to be in the situation and to be with them and to ask them why. The only question is why. Why do you do this? What is the reason behind doing this attack? I really want to, I know that their logic is something else and ours is something else. But just and I want to tell them if if in this situation or if at that university, if your child was there, would you do the same thing? Because we also have our parents, we also have our beloved ones. So would you do the same thing is if I was your daughter, of if your son was here? This is my question. I only want to know the reason, and yeah, there's obviously not reason for killing someone, but I still want to know their mindset. What do they think? What are they going through, and what is the reason? And if 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 someone from their beloved one was there, would they do the same or not? So this is actually my question that I would like to ask them, and I really hope that something I sometimes in the future I can ask this.
I also have something to say.
Yeah.
So first, I would not say anything to them unless they want to listen. Because, when I was shot, I saw the man who shot me. And right after he shot me, I didn't even think of begging for my life. I thought to pretend to be dead because I knew they won't listen to me. But if they would listen to me, and I would ask them to think whatever they're doing, is this something right to do? To use their brain and to think if if there's a little bit humanity left, if they think themselves as humans, they should think whatever they're doing, is this right? Is this acceptable in any religion? Because they see themselves as as the good followers of the religion, or they think they're best Muslims. So I would only ask them to think and use their brain as a human, as a Muslim. Whatever they're doing, is this right or wrong? Yeah.
Farzana, you wanted to answer it? You raised your hand, right?
Yeah, if I were with the terrorists in the room, so that I could tell them anything, I would tell them that what you did or what you are doing is not only right, but it's not even aligning with any of the religion in the world and any rule or international law of the world. Because what they do or what you do is against humanity. Killing people is not it's not just, and it's not the way to deal with issues. if something is wrong or if something is not good, the only way now is to talk, to share the ideas, to get to a conclusion, to a peaceful conclusion, not to war, not to killing of people, not standing against humanity.
Thank you.
Also, I want to add something else. Yeah. And another thing is that whatever they do, does it really give them inner peace? Does it really satisfy them? Because I think doing bad thing will never satisfy a person. You know, a person who does bad or who harm people. So if you do something good, it will give you the satisfaction, the feeling of, you know, you did something right. But if they do or something bad, it will never give them inner peace or satisfy them. They will keep doing that. They won't be in peace in this world and even after death.
Thank you for that. Anyone else wants to answer or? Okay, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure having each of you in this event. Each of you is a symbol of hope, of resilience, you are like, I can't even find English word that describes. You're very strong, each of you. I'm very, very proud of you that you continued your education, and thank you again for sharing your amazing stories with us. I think Tom Valenti wants to have a comment. Go ahead, Tom.
I just wanted to say that if I was in that room with all of you, I would wait until they heard all the answers. And then I would say, with your ears and your eyes, education prevailed.
Thank you for sharing that, Tom. So I'm really, really happy, and I'm really proud of you, all of you. You're really brave and amazing, and you're doing an amazing, like, you did a great decision of going back to AUAF and graduating and doing great. So thank you so much for coming to the event and sharing your amazing stories. And yeah, so if anyone wants to add something, have any questions or any comments, feel free. If not, then perhaps we will say goodbye. Thank you. Okay, I think nobody has anything to add. So thank you, everyone, and have a good night. I know it's a bit late in Kabul and everyone else. Thank you, and bye-bye. Bye, everyone.